Thank you. Thank you.
You suck.
Is there a vacuum cleaner in the audience tonight? Yes, I see one in the second row. Can we get a spotlight? Was it you that said I sucked? I thought so. You suck too. For those of you appalled by our little exchange, please understand that saying you suck to a vacuum cleaner is a compliment. I suck up dust, I suck up dog hair, I suck up spilled sugar, and all sorts of other things. In fact, if I didn't suck, then what good would I be? There aren't that many inanimate objects that suck when they're doing their jobs. Off the top of my detachable head, I can think of only one other: the drinking straw. Vacuum cleaners, like most inanimate objects, are taken for granted, and I doubt there are very many sapes who know the origin story of the vacuum cleaner. How can you know so little about something you depend on so much? That sucks. And it's a sad commentary on humanity when your vacuum cleaner knows more about you than you know about your vacuum cleaner. The first motor-driven vacuum cleaner was patented by John S. Thurman in 1899. There, was that so hard to learn? Enough bitterness. Let's move on. What do I love? I love doing my job. I'm so fortunate to have one of those jobs where, when you're done working, you can see the results immediately. It is so satisfying to go into a room that's dirty and dusty and to leave it looking all sparkly clean. The best feeling in the world. Lots of inanimate objects have the same kind of good fortune that I have. Windshield wipers, blenders, and toilet brushes come to mind. There are a lot of inanimate objects that are not so fortunate. Take the air purifier. They may make the air so clean and healthy that a sape gets to tack on an extra 2 months to their life. But you don't know that result until the person dies and you compare their age of death with similar dead people in an actuarial table. And I don't know any sapes who would take the time to pass along that kind of information to an inanimate object. Is there a book the air purifier can read? Well, air purifiers can't read, and I doubt there's a book anyway. That's why it's better to see a clump of kitty litter directly in your path and then to feel it being sucked up and into your hose. What do I hate? It's the thing that all vacuum cleaners hate: to be used to suck up insects and spiders. We're just not torturers and murderers by nature, and yet sapes will use us to do the dirty deed because they literally and figuratively want to keep their hands clean of the whole thing. You do realize that as insects and spiders are being sucked through our nozzles and into our bags or canisters, that they're not necessarily dead yet. Oh yeah, they may have lost their legs or their lower thorax or whatever they have, but they don't always die a quick death. And what about the blood? Okay, insects don't have blood, but spiders do, and we don't like having that stuff sprayed all around our innards. Simply put, it feels awful. I know what you're thinking. Inanimate objects don't have feelings, and you're right. But we know what feelings are because sapes talk about them all the time, and so we're able to imagine what those feelings must feel like. A few other things I'd like to talk about. Bagged versus bagless. There's a lot of talk among sapes about the differences between bagged and bagless vacuum cleaners, and which ones are better or worse. Vacuum cleaners don't see those differences. Sapes always seem to be more interested in what sets them apart from each other than what unites them. Vacuum cleaners look only at the similarities. Whether we're bagged or bagless, handheld or upright, stick or canister, robot or non-robot, indoor or outdoor, wet or dry, we just don't care. As long as a vacuum sucks, it's one of us. Which reminds me, when we don't suck, it's usually not our fault. If our filters are filthy or our bags are full, we just can't work properly. Is it really asking too much, sapes, for you to keep us in good working order? We want to do our work. We want to make your house or workplace clean, but we can't do it if you don't do your part. We're all in this together. Other uses. I'm sure it wasn't long after John Thurman patented the vacuum cleaner in 1899 that sapes started coming up with other uses for us. We don't mind. It's the closest we'll ever come to multitasking. I've known vacuum cleaners that were used to lull babies to sleep, fetch lost items from behind cabinets, and annoy the downstairs neighbors. Inanimation Nation has asked me to give props to my favorite inanimate object. I don't know if I have a favorite, but I do feel an affinity with drinking straws because they suck too. The first artificial drinking straw was patented by Marvin Chester Stone in 1888, and I wrote a little poem about this. Would you like to hear it? Great. Here it is. That's the last straw means your anger's full blown. That's the first straw means you're Marvin C. Stone. You've been a wonderful audience. Thanks for taking the time to come out tonight to learn all about vacuum cleaners. I hope you gained some insight into our inanimate lives, and I hope the next time you see one of us doing our job that you tell us how much we suck. Good night.